interesting. That one has a white leg on it. I was actually telling a person that there was blueberries growing there, and he said, impossible, blueberries don't grow around here. It must be something else. Are they something else? What else could those be? They look like blueberries to me. Actually, in trying to think of a different place to fly in the controlled airspace to do all that approval with the Nav Canada, just to see how fast it would be in different situations, it makes you wonder what happens if you're in, let's say you're taking off from a Class G private area and you go into the controlled airspace. Would there be any difference in that sense? Because I know, generally speaking, aside from all the federal stuff, a lot of it has to do where you actually take off and land. Because once you fly afterwards, it's all federal, like in terms of the rules. But it does make me wonder, if you say take off in the Class G, would they look at it and say, what, we can't basically approve this because you're in a Class G, but you are technically flying into it as well. I guess that's where the radius and stuff would come in, right? And it makes me think too, is there actually any reason why you wouldn't say, let's just say for flying the drone, say, my mission time is literally like, just write it down as 8 hours, like during some time you'll be there, even though realistically you'll only be there for like an hour or something like that, like in case of a weather change? Or would there be a negative to that? The only thing I would imagine would be a negative is you're supposed to technically, I guess, keep communication within that whole time frame, so I guess technically you should be available during that time as well. And what did I read today? This one says, Google ordered to halt human review of voice AI recordings over privacy risks. A Germany privacy watchdog has ordered Google to cease manual reviews of audio snippets generated by its voice AI. This follows a leak last month of scores of audio snippets from the Google Assistant service. A contractor working as a Dutch language reviewer handed more than 1,000 recordings to the Belgian news site VRT, which was then able to identify some of the people in the clips. It reported being able to hear people's addresses, discussion of medical conditions, and recordings of a woman in distress. That's kind of crazy, and I guess they say they kind of have to review it to make the tech better, I guess. It says Google product manager David Monsees claimed manual reviews of Google Assistant queries are a critical part of the process of building speech technology. Imagine companies doing that just to, quote, I guess, spy on each other for trade secrets and stuff like that. Is that too far-fetched? And this was kind of interesting to read and to think about in various ways. It says NWT rules around wildlife photography news to Inuvik photographer. Christian Binder was contacted by wildlife officials after he posted a drone video of bears near Inuvik. So you think with a story like this, it's just one of those, okay, they want to protect the wildlife, they don't want like noisy stuff around it, but that actually wasn't the case, which was the interesting thing. It says here, a photographer from Inuvik, NWT, got an unexpected phone call soon after he recently used his drone to make a video of a grizzly bear and cubs near the community. After posting the video online, Christian Binder said he got a call from the NWT Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and it came with a warning. It says, quote, they knew that I have the business and they were warning me about possible commercial usage, said Binder, who runs the 81 Images, where he puts photos he's taken on calendars, leggings, mugs, and more. Under regulations established in the Territories Wildlife Act in 2014, anyone who wants to take photos of wildlife for commercial use in the NWT must apply for a wildlife observation permit. Binder said he was completely unaware of the regulations surrounding wildlife photography. It definitely needs to be put out there because I really had no idea. And I guess they said from the conservation person, it says here, quote, anything for profit, whether it be just going out and watching wildlife, big game species, or going out filming requires a wildlife observation permit. Now there was a quote here that says they're also concerned that people could harass things like the bears with the drones, but this guy says he was like far away from it. And this quote, I guess, from the organization is so interesting. It says here, they didn't want the bears to be normalized to drones because they are already comfortable being around in town. That made me think of so many things when people talk about, say, drones and animals. Like there, he was flying really far away, no big deal, they don't care, even from my experience. Once they get used to it, the animals are just like, okay, whatever, like go along with your business. And in this case, they specifically said, for example, they don't want you to go too close to it repeatedly, otherwise they'll get used to it. Doesn't that kind of prove as well that if animals get used to like a certain environment or whatever, they will have no fear, not get heart attacks and all that as well. But the more you think about it, in terms of this article, technically, if you can clearly say I was doing this for recreational and so forth, then they can't really do anything about it. So it just makes me think again, with stuff like this, it doesn't even feel like it's about safety many times. It seems more like controlling, I guess, commercial interest, if that's what you want to say. I don't know, those quote wildlife observation permits cost money up there, but it makes it even more weird in my opinion. If the whole notion of this stuff is supposed to protect, like for example, say the area or animals, again, it just feels like it's all about money usually. Holy, like the mannequin contest or something. Alright, see you guys later.